Hi! You want to know the best part about living alone? Is that you can do whatever you want, including not wearing pants. Oh, that's awesome. Want to know what the worst thing is? Paying bills. This is a stack of bills that I've paid, and this is a list of my expenses. For gas and electric, I pay roughly 20 for each, so about 40 bucks a month. It fluxes between which one gets which. Um, my water is set through the apartment complex at $25 a month. My phone bill is just under 100, and I get unlimited talk, text, and data. So that's a thing if that's where you want to invest your money in. For internet, I pay just under 60, it's a little over 50 due to taxes and stuff, and that's for 5 gigs. And I'm thinking about updating that because I get a discount through my job, and I would rather pay 80 for 10 gigs, which I would get lower because of the discount. For my insurance, which you should always have, renters, I pay just under 20. It's either like 16 something or 19 something, and I can't remember which one it ended up being. And for my car insurance, I pay just under 35. And that is all not my rent. My rent is $400 a month for a very spacious one-bedroom apartment. I like it, but that's about $700 a month set in what I have to pay. Now, I can cut back technically with my gas and electric, but really, other than right now, which I'm sure my electric's going to be much higher since I started doing this, my lights are usually all off. I pretty much just use my phone for everything. That $700 a month does not include what I pay in food and gas for my car. Those are about, I budget about $200 a month for food. That includes groceries and eating out. And once you have your startup kitchen, that you can easily do that one person, and like 200's high if you're frugal like I am. And with gas, it fluxes. This month was a little high. I filled up about 4 times, so once a week. But there's a few things wrong with my car, and gas was high, and I had a lot of travel to do. So it was a high gas month. But at just under 40 bucks a tank, that adds up pretty quickly, and I commute to all my jobs, which I have 3 of. So that's a thing. Once again, and the gas and the food are other things you can cut back on along with electricity and gas. But the others will come every month without fail. You will have to pay your rent every month, or you will get thrown out. You will have to pay your utilities because they will get turned off unless your rent includes your utilities, and then that's a thing. But you still have to pay your rent. You have to pay for these things. If you don't pay for your phone, it will get shut off. And if you don't pay your bills, your credit score goes down, and that's not fun. Your deposits get awful if that happens. Luckily, I have not had that happen to me, but I've seen what it's done to other people, and I just don't want to deal with that. One thing you don't notice on my list of things to pay is a cable bill, and that is because I do not have cable. I don't actually own a TV. See this lovely box over here on the stand? Right there. That is where a TV would be if I owned one, but I don't because I'm cheap, and I don't have a need for it, because if I had it, I would watch it all the time, and I would never get anything accomplished. So I just went ahead and decided to be a minimalist and forego the TV, and not have that be a thing. I can do just fine with internet, and most of that I do via my phone. Before I moved out, my father had me make a budget and execute it as if I was living in the apartment that I wanted at the time. So I would go through and make a budget as if I had to pay all these expenses, and I lived like I was doing that, only I didn't pay these, I put them into savings. From there, if I overspent something, or if I didn't reach my financial goal, I would go through and adjust where I could. Now, adjusting can mean anything from changing the location to what data plan you have to having a roommate. Now, there's always an extra expense or two that's going to pop up while you're living alone, and then you're also going to want to have fun money. Um, for the extra expenses, it can be anything from your car broke down, which I've had a lot of issues with, um, to, you know, to say you have a pet, your pet needs to go to the vet, or you have to go to the doctor, worse off, or you miss a day of work, and that's one big thing. You got to be really secure on how much money you're making a month, and be aware of how that's going to affect your budget if you were to get sick. Fun money, you're going to want to go out at some point. Like, you're not going to go out every night because that's just expensive, but you're going to want to go to a movie every so often, and that's fair. You want to go out with your friends, or say there's a concert. Hey, I'm the big concert person. You want to be able to go, and you want to be able to afford the merchandise, and you want to be able to afford the ticket. So those are things you really gotta consider, and you're gonna do them. So just build them into your budget preemptively. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna live in a little hermit shell like I usually do, but you know, you gotta be able to accept that you're gonna want to go out and do stuff. So one of the ways I offer to adjust your budget is to get a roommate. By getting a roommate, you can spread out some of your expenses, like the internet bill and the cable bill if you were to get one, and electric and gas if you're both like really good about being frugal with it. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that your best friend might not be the best roommate. Don't get me wrong, I know it's great to live with someone that you really like to be around, but at the same time, you want to live with someone who's going to be responsible and accountable for everything they do, and they're going to be willing to pay the bills on time, just like you should be too. So you might not have the funnest place to live at, and your roommate might not be the coolest person, but your bills should get paid, and that should be more important than partying. Sad but true, I know. Alright, so a little homework for those of you who want to move out and live on your own. Go price shopping for the place that you want, be it an apartment or a house, rent or own, and build yourself a budget. And be very realistic about the budget. Account for all the things I mentioned before, and maybe something that you want that I haven't mentioned. Make sure you're ready for emergencies. I have an emergency fund, which is one thing that my dad taught me about, which is why you want to live like you're on your budget before you go on your budget, because you build that cushion without, having to think it's the building of the cushion. You actually get to pretend like you're living in your place. And that kind of helps with like unexpected expenses, or say you do miss a week of work because you're violently ill, or even if you lose your job, which is a possibility to anybody. Don't be disheartened if your dream place seems really out of reach right now. We are all starting out right now, and it's tough getting started. Plus, if you got everything that you ever wanted to start with, then what would be the point of bettering yourself? Take your time. Do the math. Do all the stupid, boring, daunting math, which can seem like a complete and total chore, but if you look at it the right way, you can also see it as a fun little task and a problem you have to solve and a puzzle to work out. And most importantly, you can do it. You can live on your own. You can do these things. You just have to be willing to put the work in. Alright, thank you for watching. I'm C, and you've just seen my monthly Columbus budget. And I'm gonna exit all cool right here. Bye.